Hello and welcome to the Real Life Show. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Jonathan. This is a platform where we get to engage, interact, and learn from icons, gurus, trendsetters, trailblazers, difference makers, and world changers. You know what I'm talking about, and I'm excited today because I am in the Simpson building, chilling with a vlogger, a social media influencer, and a businessman. Ladies and gentlemen, you already know who I'm talking about, Mr. Simon Mwewa Lane. Sir, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, and you're welcome here, and it's such a pleasure to have you.
Thank you, sir. I'm really humbled that you've actually allowed us in and given us audience to have an interaction with you. So let's get into it. First and foremost, I'm aware that Simon Mwewa is not your name, right?
That's right. Simon Mwewa is the name of my late father.
Yes, sir.
Right. Simon Mwewa Lane is the name of the road that is directly in front of this building,
yes,
Simpson building.
You talk about your father, who's been an inspiration to you in many ways. For people who don't know him, briefly, who was Mr. Mwewa?
Well, he was a family man. He served as mayor of the city of Lusaka in the late 70s.
Yes, sir.
He also served as governor, yes, sir, of Lusaka. He served under the UNIP government, and he built Simpson building, which is the building we're sitting in now.
Great.
And prior to that, he worked for Zambia National Building Society, okay, as the managing director for several years. Yeah.
Great. Briefly tell me about your upbringing. How was it? Educational background and things like that.
Well, you know, the thing about my education, lots of people don't realize I'm not as smart as people think I am. I mean, I don't, and what I mean by that is I don't have huge, big, lofty degrees behind my name. I went to high school, secondary school. When I finished, I felt...
Which school was that?
International School of Lusaka.
Okay.
Yes, I also went to Leopard's Hill Secondary School. And when I was done with that, I felt called into the ministry. So
as a pastor?
Yes, and okay, I told my dad, I said, I want to study in America and attend an institution there, a theological institution, okay, in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Okay. And my dad said, sure. So he sent me out there. I was there for a total of 7 years.
Oh, really?
Yes, but I almost got married there. That didn't work, you know, which I'm so glad it didn't. Not to diss the person, it's just that, you know, yes, I got a really good deal, you know, and then I came back home. Okay.
So when you came back straight to the family business, or you worked in some certain organizations or government?
No, I didn't. I didn't work in government. I went straight into the family business. I went into a completely different direction. The idea, the goal, the plan was for me to go into the ministry.
Yes.
And along the way, I changed, and I know a lot of fundamental, charismatic Christians who are watching me, my brothers and sisters, yes, when they hear this, they think, no, you ran away from the call of God. But that's something that I struggled with for many, many years, and I used to feel very bad about it, you know, because there's the scripture that says God's calling is without repentance.
Yes.
It used to haunt me. But then I came to peace with that, because one day it came to me that God uses us in different ways, you know, and I became comforted by that. And of course, the diehard tongue-talking Pentecostal, yes, Christians, yes, they're not going to believe that. They say, no, you ran away from the call of God, son. Yeah, but I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it.
I love your passion for cleanliness. You are one individual, even before the campaign was, you know, announced nationally to keep Zambia clean or make Zambia clean. You started it a long time ago. I think I used to just watch you in the background when I visit Simpson here and there. What will it take to see a clean Zambia?
Well, it's going to take a concerted effort, and led by our leaders, and then followed by the citizenry. A clean society doesn't happen by spontaneous combustion. In other words, it doesn't happen, it's not a bang theory.
Mysteriously.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a deliberate move, you know, by the leadership to push a country in a certain direction. And then ensure along the way that that direction is adhered to. It's one thing to make pronouncements, which is something that we love to do and we know how to do in Zambia. We love to say, we're going to do this. And then after a while, we don't do it, you know, and that's what makes the difference. Interestingly, I was speaking to some colleagues of mine from Rwanda, trying to find out how they did it. And it's leadership. It's leadership, and then making sure that the things that are being pronounced are being followed, and making sure that there are penalties that are meted out to people that don't follow the rules.
Yes.
But unfortunately, we're living in a society where the leadership, the top brass, their hearts may be in the right place. I mean, President Lungu launched the Make Zambia Clean, Green and Healthy campaign. That was fantastic. But the president alone cannot do it. He has to have the citizenry on board.
Yeah.
Every organ, every component has to follow suit. If that doesn't happen, it's just platitudes.
Yeah, that's true. Now, most people, when they are left with businesses by their father, they completely fail. Most of them. But you have been maintaining it, and you've been successful at, you know, keeping the legacy of your father. What did you do to ensure that you build and actually, you know, maintain and build from where your father left you with a family business?
Well, let me first of all say that it's not me alone.
Okay.
I've often said that here at Simoson, we do have a team.
Okay.
And that makes sure that we're on the same page. It's a family business, so which means that it's an incorporation of myself, my siblings. We're all on the same page. We disagree, but we do have, there's certain fundamentals that we do not depart from. And one of the things that our father used to consistently drill in us when we were kids is, no matter what, never sell businesses. Never sell family businesses, you know. And I think that's something that we have all agreed on. It's never, well, we've had offers, you know, people come here and I remember there was one big German company or something, they offered us a ridiculous amount of money.
And a tempting amount.
Yeah, well, not tempting, it was just ridiculous and a huge amount of money. But my point is, when that money was offered, there was no thought of, well, should we consider it? It was an immediate no. Because for years it was drummed into us. Our goal is to not just be with Simoson. Our goal is to expand the business, make it bigger and better, you know. And we do have several other companies. We have Simoson McKinney, what they call McKinney Simoson.
Yes.
Right. Originally that was supposed to be a hotel.
Oh, really?
Right, but then we moved away from that. So we sort of rented it out to a learning institution, which is working, you know. Then there's Manchinchi Gardens, which is directly behind Manda Hill. And and we got other plans as well, you know. So the goal is to expand and do better from where he left off.
Is there a model that you use, maybe like an Indian model, an Asian model, or is just what you got from your father?
Well, you know, interestingly, you mentioned Asian, because my father was educated in India.
Really?
Yes, he went to the University of Delhi, and he studied economics. He got a degree in economics. And
great.
Yeah, and my father's way of doing things was, interestingly enough, was very Asian. You know, my dad constantly talked about how, you know, for example, our attitude towards money. Yes. You know, it had a very Asian-esque twist to it, you know. And yeah, so it's things like that sort of make us realize and understand that, you know, our dad had a certain way of doing things, and we want to follow in those footsteps and improve on what he left behind. Yes.
And then I understand your father was the inspiration actually to the page, Mwewa Lane page. Right?
Yes.
Why did you start teaching us English?
Well, English is something, well, first of all, let me talk about the page.
Yes.
The lane, people think that Lane is my last name. Some people think that Lane is my surname. Lane simply means a small road, which is
Yes.
the road in front of Simoson
Yes.
is a small road. For years, let me give you some backstory. For years, the road was nameless. It didn't have a name. We just used to sweep it and make. This was even before they tarred the road.
Okay.
It was just a footpath.
Yes.
You know, and we used to pay the prison service. At the time, it was 1 million kwacha every month to come and sweep the road.
Wow.
And then one day we decided, you know what? Why don't we ask City Council to name this road after our father? After all, number one, it's nameless. Number two, we were one of the first business houses to come to this area. Okay. In fact, we are the only, now, as we sit here and speak to you, we're the only indigenous Zambians that own property in the CBD. The only ones.
Wow.
Everybody else, I mean, not to knock them, I'm just giving you facts. Everybody else are either Asian, Lebanese. You know, we used to have black Zambians owning property here, but they sold it.
Yes.
You know, over time, you know, the children inherited. After a short while, they sell it. You know, so we're the only ones that are indigenously
owning property.
Yeah, we own property here. So to answer your question, what was your question? I forget. Because you know, when you get to my age, you just forget stuff.
So Simon Mwewa Lane,
right?
How the page came up?
Right. Originally, I was inspired by the Beatles. I don't know if you've ever heard of the Beatles.
No.
It's a British group. It's a band.
Okay.
Yeah, they were very famous in the 60s and part of the 70s. Yeah. They did a very famous album cover where the picture showed them, I think the Beatles, there were 4 members of the band. They were crossing a street called Abbey Road.
Okay.
It's a real road in England, in London, called Abbey Road. Now, because that album cover was so, that album became very famous. And everybody wanted to know, where is Abbey Road? And because of that album,
yes,
that road became extremely famous. So today, if you go to London or anywhere in England, and you ask anyone from a child to an old man, where is Abbey Road? They will instantly know what you're talking about. And that was my inspiration. I was thinking, you know, I would like to get to a place where people ask,
yes,
where is Simon Mwewa Lane?
Yes.
And everybody knows instantly where it is. So the original idea was to open a page that focused on the activity,
yes,
the commerce,
yes,
that goes on here,
yes,
in and around the central business district. But then along the way, I realized that, you know, the page could be multifaceted.
Yes.
It shouldn't just focus on, you know, what's happening on the street. So I sort of added the idea of teaching English, because what I noticed is that in Zambia we have a very big problem with the way we speak English.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a phonetic problem. You know, we mispronounce words, but we're very good at spelling them.
Yes.
We're better at spelling words than we are at pronouncing words. So in that I saw a need and a gap, and I chose to fill it.
Wow.
Hence the English lessons.
And that's the reason why I'm trying to be also, you know, very careful with the way I'm pronouncing, because this might turn into a lecture. Right?
Possible.
Okay, so and now it's a TV station.
Well, I call it a TV station. It's an online television station. There are a couple of things we're doing here at my office. We're in the process of setting up a little studio, you know, with the lights and cameras, and we're leveling up gradually. What I learned, being a vlogger, what I learned is that you never do everything in one big bang.
Yeah.
Everything is gradual. You know, today you buy a nice phone. After a few months, you buy a nice camera.
Yes.
You buy one light.
Yes.
In 6 months, you've got 6 lights.
Yes.
You know, so it's all about leveling up. So the idea is to make it a neutral station where human interest stories take center stage.
Yeah.
And education is the focus.
Now, I see some bad comments on the page sometimes. How did we come to a place where our youths don't have morals? You know, they just say anything, disrespect anyhow on social media?
Well, I think that really stems from the homes that they come from. And this is something that, because I was taught this, I teach our children this. My wife and I, we teach our kids this. And again, this is something that I've seen a gap in the last, I'd say, 15, 20 years. I've seen that the Zambian youth, by and large, simply doesn't have a sense of self and a sense of tradition and a sense of respect for elders. This is a very archaic, almost antiquated subject. When you talk like this, people look at you like you're strange. You know, I've noticed this, you know, even within the Zambian context. We're at a place now where when you talk about respect and values, going back to traditional values,
Yes.
people think that you are old.
You're old-fashioned.
You're old-fashioned. You're not with the system, or with the times. You're not moving with the times. All of that I disagree with. And I think that there's a fundamental core. As a people, we must understand that we are black people,
Yes.
and we have a value system that we should hold on to, and not only hold on to, but pass on to our children. Yeah, because you know, and you hear it in the songs, you know, as well. You hear it in the music, and young people just saying anything they want. I hear it on the street. You know, a young boy will refer to an older person as Iwe Chimdala. That's always left a bad taste in my mouth. And so I think that we need to go back to those values. And one of the ways to do it is to inculcate these values in our homes.
Yes.
In our homes. Society won't do it for us. We have to do it. You and I have to do it. Yeah.
Great. Now, I love what you say, and this I agree totally with you, where you say social media must be used to, you know, motivate, inspire, and things like that.
Yes.
And entertain, which is exactly part of what we're doing right now. You know, encourage people, inspire people, and things like that. And then there's another part where you say, oh, social media must also be used to make money. How do you make money through social media?
Oh, it's really easy. It's one of the easiest things.
Okay.
You know, the way it works is, especially on Facebook, I'm a Facebook influencer. Well, they call us influencers. That's what they say.
Yes.
Yeah. But the thing is, because I use Facebook, all you do is you grow your audience. And then companies come to you and they say, you know, they say you've got a big audience.
Yes.
And then you give them a rate card. They say, I want to advertise this, that, and the other. But you see, this is what I would like to say to vloggers.
Yes.
Never start out thinking about numbers.
Yes.
That's a waste of time. Mark Zuckerberg, the guy that owns Facebook,
Yes.
when he first invented Facebook in his dorm room, he started with one person. He didn't start with 7 billion people. You know, he started with the one person. And his focus was not to raise his numbers. His focus was to build a website, a tool that connected people.
Yes.
That was his focus. The numbers were a byproduct of his focus. So my advice to young vloggers is, don't focus on the numbers. Focus on your content. Are you bringing value to the social media space? What are you offering to the social? What is it that you're saying that your audience wants to hear?
Yes.
And wants to tap into?
Great.
Focus on that, and then everything else will fall into place.
That's powerful. Mr. Mo, I'm going to ask you some real life questions that I ask all my guests.
Okay.
And I'll need some real life answers.
Okay, here we go. All right.
What are your core values in life?
What am I?
Core values.
Respect, love, family, a sense of self. Yeah.
Driving forces.
What are my driving forces? Ooh. Ambition to be better than what I am today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you say is your leadership style like?
My leadership style?
Yeah.
Aggressive.
I see that.
Do you really? Oh my goodness. That's terrible. Oh my goodness. I hope that's not a bad thing.
No, it is. It's good. It's good.
Is it really?
It's good.
Okay.
It's good.
All right. If
It's
you
good.
say so.
I think we don't need to be passive. So, so far, what would you say is your biggest accomplishment in life?
I wouldn't know the answer to that. My biggest accomplishment? Well, you know, the thing is for me, I love my family.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say my wife, kids. My kids, my wife, yes, them. They are my biggest accomplishment.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your biggest failure in life and how did you learn from it?
My biggest failure was not following through with the ministry.
Okay.
Yeah. And like I said, I mean, for years I used to beat myself up about that. And there were times I'd get emotional, but you know, again, I had to come to a place where I accepted that. And I accepted that God uses us in different ways.
Yes.
Yeah. So my biggest failure was that I didn't become what I set out to be. I really wanted to be a minister, but it didn't happen.
Great. And what's the most important thing that you've learned in life so far?
Time is fleeting. There is no time.
There's no time.
Yeah.
If you could turn back the time and speak to the 18-year-old Chitambala, what should you tell him?
Read more, get more education, get an extra degree, study more, get more qualifications under your belt. Yeah.
If you could have dinner with 3 people, dead or alive, who would they be and why?
Michael Jackson.
Okay.
Nelson Mandela. Morgan Freeman.
Morgan who?
Freeman.
Oh, Freeman. Oh, great. Okay.
Why? Because Michael Jackson was the greatest entertainer that's ever lived. Nelson Mandela, I wanted to ask him, you endured that for 27, how long was he in there? 27 years?
27 years.
Yeah. And then Morgan Freeman, I would love to learn how he uses his voice so beautifully and magically. Great.
Do you have free time? And if you have, what do you do in your free time?
Yes, I do. I spend it with my family.
Okay.
Yeah. My free day is Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah. It used to be that Friday nights we had this tradition in our home. Every Friday night we'd go watch a movie. Yeah, but we don't do that anymore because of COVID.
COVID,
yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Favorite music?
Gospel, jazz, pop.
Favorite book of all time?
The Africa House.
The Africa House.
Yeah.
Okay. I've never read that.
By Christina Lamb. It's a book about Shiwangandu.
Okay.
You know the big mansion in Chinsali?
Yes, I've heard that name before.
Yeah. She wrote a book about that. About Sir Gold Brown, the man that built Shiwangandu. It's an amazing book. It's like a movie when you read it.
Oh, really?
Yes, it's incredible.
What's your favorite meal, Mr. Mo?
Nshima with mushrooms. Dende.
And for our viewers out there who get to be inspired by what you do, what are your last words to them?
Thank you for watching, and God bless you.
Great, thank you very much. I must say I'm grateful for allowing me to come and have this conversation with you. Personally, I've learned a lot, and I pray that the people out there also have gotten something as well. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what we do on the Real Life Show. We bring you the best that you need and the best that you deserve. Continue watching the Real Life Show. Stay safe and God bless you. Peace.
Hey guys, this is Mr. Chitambala Mwewa for SML TV. Continue watching the Real Life Show with Jonathan.